and yet for Rob Zombie fans to be like, dude, that's not metal. Well, neither's the shit you listen to. Don't give me the purity test if you're a Rob Zombie fan. Piss off.
News, reviews, interviews, and all things metal. From the Kensington Place Studios, it's According to Metal with Jason and Biz.
According to Metalheads, welcome to According to Metal, the metal podcast that is news, reviews, interviews, and all things metal. This is going to be an awesome episode. I'm so glad that you guys are listening to us. And I'm Jason, of course, sitting in the Kensington Place Studios, enjoying a wonderful cup of elote, become my favorite food of all time. Speaking of great elote, there's a place in Indianapolis called the Tamale Place, which has killer tamales. Really, really good elote. The best I've ever had. I've tried to make it. I can't come close to how good there is. And you know what? There's something else down in Indianapolis that is even better than the Tamale Place. Well, not really. But he's a good friend of mine, and he's also my co-host here on According to Metal. My guy, Biv. Biv, what's going on, man?
Man, I got to tell you, I'm pumped up about this episode. I think we've got a lot of great stuff. Got some cool news articles. We've got, as you already mentioned, Eli Santana is going to be joining us, Carlos's nephew. And
we should ask him like what it was like to really like record with Rob Thomas, from Matchbox 20 and stuff. I'm sure it'll be fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. But yeah, he's going to be joining us later on the show. Can't wait to talk to him about that. And Bill, I know last time I was down there, we talked about going to the Tamale Place. We never went though, did we? We didn't have time.
Yes, yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, it was a few years ago when you were down. We did go to the Tamale Place. You took some home to Lisa.
Oh, I did again. Last time I was down there.
Okay, all right. And now they've opened a second location, actually not too far from me at all.
Sweet. Well, next time I'm down there, that's going to happen. And I probably shouldn't be eating because this is trying to be a professional podcast, but it's just too damn good not to do it. But I'm telling you, if you've never had elote before, shame on you. There's some places around the country that do it very well. But if you're in Indianapolis and they're not a sponsor of the show, no, damn it, I would love it if they were. The Tamale Place kicks ass. Awesome tamales, and they have elote that I wish I could mimic and can't, but I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat it anyway on the show because I can. But as we start off every episode of According to Metal, by the way, we got Biv's Best Band later on in the broadcast. I didn't even mention that, but we got to get into other stuff first, and that's the news. So, Biv, you want to talk some metal news, man?
Let's do this, then.
All right.
It's time to give you some headlines. The metal news you need to know right now.
I got to stop chewing. Anyway, we're going to talk the latest in metal news. Normally, this is Biv's segment where he comes up with the headlines and we discuss it like we do on every episode. But I actually have a news story myself. That's right. Yeah, I'm putting in a little overtime here, trying to carry some of the weight of the podcast and not leave it all up to Biv, who handles all the news. But Biv, let me go over to you, buddy. What's going on in the world of metal? What latest news you want to discuss?
Well, I got to tell you, the most interesting story of the week, I think, is Bruce Dickinson basically stopping a concert in Australia and just absolutely going off on this fan who is drunk and unruly and has a Raiders shirt on, and leave it to a Raiders fan to just be a complete ass clown.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was the Canberra Raiders, which is a rugby team in Australia, but it doesn't matter. Raider fan is Raider fan the world over, apparently.
That is true. And for those of you who are listening outside of the United States, one of the more obnoxious fan bases in the NFL is the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, whatever you want to call them this week, fan base. They're just obnoxious douchebags most of the time. But not all, but most. And so, to Biv's point, leave it to anybody of a fan of a team named the Raiders ends up being a douche. And so I guess this guy was too.
In fact, we have an audio clip of this, don't we? Let's Let's play that now.
All right, let's do it.
Woman in the front with a Raiders shirt on. Yeah, you. Being restrained by a couple of very friendly fans. Just fucking calm down, all right, will you? Otherwise you will be exiting. Pick a window. I hope you like hospital food. Give me the fucking finger, mate. You can fucking come backstage. I'll fucking sort you out myself.
That was awesome, actually. And here's the funny thing. We ripped on Maiden last week on the last episode for kind of selling out to the Chinese government over Power Slave and, not waving the British flag on stage. But this is one of the cooler moments. I get redemption for Iron Maiden in this regard too. But you interrupted Fear of the Dark. You know what I mean? Like what the hell? Like, it was at the very end of Fear of the Dark. He stops the show and just goes off. I think it's pretty funny. But this touches on a couple things too. One, Australia, what's up with that? You got to take some ownership of your guy. I think maybe we should reach out to Mark from Damnation's Day, who was on the episode last week, and say, hey, dude, you got to keep better control of your fans, man. What the hell? Let's blame him for this. What do you say? Should we do that?
Absolutely.
Just hold Mark accountable for some dumbass Iron Maiden fan. I don't know. He's our residential Australian expert of According to Metal from now on. We're just going to hold him accountable to the behavior of a dumbass fan. But speaking of dumbass fans, we've had this conversation before, and Biv, you've been to more shows than I've been to, but I've been to a ton of shows myself, and I can say this from experience, and I don't know if the guy was drunk or not. I'm sure he was. And, we had this conversation when me and my buddies left the Iron Maiden concert we saw in Chicago, which, I gave my thoughts on a couple episodes ago, in which it just always strikes me funny of people who, it's all right to have a good time. You want to be there. You want to get into it. You want to sing along. You want to headbang. You want to, put your horns up in the air. I get all of that. But it boggles my mind of the people who spend, $100 a ticket, if not more on some places, and then are just drunk out of their mind to the point where they have no idea what the hell's going on. So all they do is annoy every single person around them because they're drunk as hell and they piss you off. And then they probably have absolutely no recollection of the show they just paid $100 plus to go see anyway. And it's just one of those things where I've gone to a concert one time in my life feeling okay, and I regretted it instantly, and I've never done it again. And it boggles my mind how time after time, show after show, almost every single time there's at least a handful, especially at Maiden concerts, just like 5 or 6 guys who happen to be right around me who are drunk out of their minds, stupid, falling all over the place, getting in your way, elbowing you in the chin, or, just being a pain in the ass. And you're just like, you drunk bastard, get the hell out of my way. And I'm guessing that's what this guy was, even though I don't know. But I'm just going to take a wild guess. If he's being an unruly douchebag, besides being a Raiders fan, he's probably drunk out of his mind. And here are my thoughts. If you're going to pay money to go see a show, don't be freaking wasted out of your mind, because it's just annoying to everyone around you. And let's be honest, you're not going to recall half of what you paid the money for to see anyway, so don't be that guy. There's our public service announcement on this episode of According to Metal.
Well, speaking of public service, I always love a feel-good story. And Matt Sorum, former drummer of Guns N' Roses, who can be a penis at times, he did something really cool.
Biv, you just broke your Guns N' Roses our pact.
Well, I know.
We weren't going to mention Guns N' Roses or AC/DC, and you just freaking blew it.
Well, and I'm not mentioning them to talk about them, only to say that
I'm just
that
giving
is
you
who
crap.
Storm is. I know. But at any rate, he and Corey Taylor, Dean and Robert DeLeo, Stone Temple Pilots, members of the Cult, Gilby Clarke, Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols, Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath, Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple. They got together a ton of people to do a benefit for what's called Adopt the Arts, which is a benefit program to keep music in the Los Angeles public school system. So it was done just this past week, and Matt Sorum said, this isn't about your kid or who may or may not be in the public school. This is about our community. A lot of entertainers and wealthy people in the entertainment industry don't know what is happening in America or in America's public schools. Adopt the Arts is shedding light on the reality of public education and providing an opportunity for people to invest in their community. So that's awesome.
That's really cool, man.
It is. And I don't know how much money they raised, but I do know that they had, now check this out. You could buy a meet and greet VIP ticket so you can meet all the people I just named.
Holy crap.
For $500.
Dude, that's not bad at all.
No, $500 donation got you, so you can meet and greet all those people. You could do a meet and greet VIP table for 10 for $4,500. Just general admissions, stadium seating was $75.
Okay.
Standing room only was $40.
Okay.
So I figured they had to raise a fair amount of money.
I would think so.
Yeah. So I just mad props to these guys for doing it, because you don't hear about things like that. And when I do, I want to bring attention to it.
That's awesome. And I will say, in the ever increasing stories of decreasing, public school funds in regards to where money's going, and again, we can have a whole side conversation about the cost of education and per state, and I'll spare you that and get off my soapbox there. But I will say that sometimes your arts programs or your arts classes are the first that are cut. And I get it to some extent. They're not, quote unquote, necessary as much as some of the more staples or things that you need to know that essentially help you graduate from school here in the United States. But the reality is I can tell you, as a guy who was in band, the impact that band and music in school had on me as an adult. I attribute a lot of my knowledge of music and a lot of my understanding of music. I played drums. Certainly not an amazing drummer by any means, but my sense of rhythm and my sense of understanding how music flows and how it works, and keeping time and all of those things I learned in band. And not only that, just had a lot of incredible friendships throughout the years of band. You're playing in band with the same kids that you went to school with from fourth grade on all the way through high school. There's people I'm still, friends with to this day that I met in band class. So to take that away from kids and to not let them experience that would suck. And I think it's really cool that some really big names got together to try to pull this off for, LA Public Schools. And to your point, Biv, I mean, you're mentioning it, we're mentioning it on the show, but how many people talk about stories like that? And especially when it comes to heavy metal, because I don't care what anyone says, heavy metal still gets a bad reputation from so many people who don't get it. And they still think it's, Satan worshiping, people who bite the heads off of bats like Ozzy did. That's what heavy metal is, just a bunch of Satan worshipers and it's just insane and it's stupid. These are real people who are sometimes great people and, may not look the part of somebody you may think would be an awesome person, but I'm telling you what, it's stories like this that more people need to talk about, not just on Blabbermouth and not just on, on podcasts like this, but damn it, where is the mainstream media on stuff like that? Because no one talks about that stuff. And, heavy metal getting good publicity instead of bad would be welcomed for a change. And the story's right in front of you, mainstream media. Why don't you pick up on stuff like this? Because that's a really cool story.
It is. It definitely is one of those that, to your point, these are real people. It makes you feel really good about what they're doing and giving back. So
that's awesome, man.
Mad proud. Okay, so last week we talked about Neverworld. They were Biz's best band last week, and we talked about a side project that Ben Colton is into called All Seeing Eyes. Well, they are, as we mentioned, going back into the studio, and I have an update from Ben. Now, this is a press release that they made just for this show because I contacted Ben and we're kind of talking back and forth about All Seeing Eyes and their upcoming project. So here it is. This is the first the first break of this story. But